Mark it. Take 5, marker.
Fact is, there were a lot of sick, vicious wackos in America. Night after night, we were...
It was awful easy for me. Hell, I never took a television course. I could always tell a story.
It was as close to a corpse as steel, bricks, concrete can be. It was a charred, scarred, festering thing. Its buildings, skyscrapers, neighborhoods, more tombstones than a city alive. Casualties from the war against itself.
I go through enough crap back here, I don't have to go through it with you.
Well,
and
Senator,
let me tell you something.
No, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
No, you tell yourself something. I'm tired of talking to you.
Okay, fine. I'm tired of talking to you. See you later.
If I interviewed a guy who wanted to go to work at Channel 7, I always asked him, would you like my job? And if he said no, don't hire him. Because if you don't want this job, man, you don't belong in this business.
Who gives you your input? I mean, who's honest with you?
You ask really good questions.
Who really says, okay,
you must have been doing this a while.
When you take a man's home, neighborhood, culture, comfort, and life's work from him, you had better replace it with something of value, equal value. That's the way it is in Bloomfield, Birmingham, the Grosse Points, and the Orchard Lakes. I know. I live there. And if it's good enough for the white-collar set, it is only fair that it be good enough for Joe Lunchbucket in Poletown.
Television is not mass media. It's one-on-one.
Personal.
And you don't have to pontificate. I'll never forget the day, if you will, that the Stroh's family announced it was selling its company.
Yeah.
Okay? Now everyone said, a sad but historic event occurred in the city of Detroit today. The nation's 5th largest, the Stroh family, came here in 1842 with Gary Cooper and the Indians or something, has decided to pull up stakes and move. Blah, 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 blah. I said to myself, God almighty, come on. I said, I'll handle this. So I said, good evening. From here on out, make mine Bud.
A guy at a gas station asked me this afternoon what I thought about today's decision. I said, well, I am for affirmative action. Why, he asked. Because, I said, if Billy Bonds had been born black, he never would have made it in this business. Because, I'll tell you something, when I got hired, you simply had to be white.
It looks like Roe v. Wade is going to be reversed. If either of you, any of you is president, and Roe v. Wade comes down, as the moral political leader of this country, are you going to tell the American women who want to have an abortion, it's against the law, you can't do it, you're going to be punished?
Absolutely not.
No.
What are you going to say?
Say each woman has to decide this matter of conscience.
Bill Fife came to me, he said, I think I'm going to hire Bill Bonds. I said, you can't hire him. He said, why? I said, he's an arrogant, pompous, ego-driven pain in the...
But very bright and very attractive.
But very bright and very talented. And he said, well, I'm going to hire him.
And if he has a burden, it's humility. Right? Okay.
Right. Channel 7's Bill Bonds.
I'm very pleased to be here this evening, and frankly, I'm a little surprised. I had a previous engagement. I was supposed to be on the receiving end of a Good Citizenship Driving Award in the West Bloomfield Police Department tonight.
But once you've been in this game, and once you've had a taste of it, once you live this exciting thing called journalism on television in the community and the country that you love, that hunger never goes away.
I don't expect them to know a damn thing, but Bill, I expect more out of you.
Well, I'm not running against you, though.
Well, you are the ones who are parroting these false concepts.
Well, that's my responsibility to quote the people who are criticizing you who are running against you.
It's your responsibility as an investigative reporter to ask me some factual information.
All right. Why is it that you publicly called Tom Barrow a congenitive liar?
Because he is a congenitive liar.
Well, challenge Colma to a fight, because I might have had a couple of pops that night.
I don't scare you, and you damn sure don't scare me. Now, how about you and me sparring a couple of rounds?
It went through the producer, okay, and it was fine. I didn't get fired for it.
I know it does not come as a great surprise to you that I am an alcoholic. As a matter of fact, it did not shock or surprise me, to be very truthful. I've known it for at least 15 years, maybe a little longer, but I would not or could not accept the fact that I was an alcoholic.
If you think you got a problem with booze, you got a problem with booze.
Biggest mistake of your life?
Yeah, and I beat myself up for it. I probably should. None of my children is a drinker. My daughter Joni was killed, though, because she was drinking that night. And if I had I should have gone more public with that part of her life and our life as a family, because you just didn't lose a daughter. Alcoholism is a family's disease. And if you're a Bill Bonds and you're in a position to
Black kids in South Africa don't see a lot of whites, but they finally warmed up, except for one little guy who kind of kept his back to us and looked at us from a distance. When he finally turned around, my jaw dropped, and I got a little choked up. Here we were, 10,000 miles from Detroit, and this little guy is wearing, and I swear to God this is true, a Detroit Lions football jersey. And it drove home the salient point of all this. Ours is a small world, and getting smaller. And we are all chartered members of the only human race on it. There must be enough for everyone.
You know, if you're curious and if you can perform yourself without making a fool out of yourself, and if you can stay sober most of the time, journalism's a great thing to get into. And I think it's more important in our society than it ever has been. I think that's a wrap.